Just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Maybe you're sitting cross-legged already, but maybe you're also sitting at your desk with your feet down, not cross-legged. And so in that case, have them in a parallel position and just feel the sensation of the feet on the floor, and maybe if you're wearing slippers or shoes, the sensation of your feet in your slippers or shoes. And feel the back of the legs on your chair and your sits bones and your pelvis in the chair, the weight there. And just notice your hands in your lap and draw your attention to the sensation in your hands. And just align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And just imagine your spine is this a beautiful string of pearls of light that stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So you're just lengthening your spine, putting some space in between the vertebrae. And then bring your attention to the topmost part of your body, your crown, and see if you can feel a sensation, any sensation there. And relax your scalp. Release any tension in your forehead, on your eyebrows, the back of your eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw, the back of the tongue, the back of the head. And just allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down and relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And bring your attention to your breath, the sensations of the air as you inhale and exhale. Through the nostrils, notice that. Then notice the sensations around your chest cavity. And then your belly. All of this is to help us settle our mind and ground ourselves. So our mind is the same place our body is. Very often it's not. Body's in one place, mind is in Alaska. And then be aware of any distractions in your environment. Just notice maybe sound, maybe notifications on your screen. And just allow it all to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. And then just check in with your mind this evening. or today, wherever you are. And just see what's going on for you tonight, today. Has it shifted in the last hour? And then try not to judge what's happening right now. Just allow it all to be there. And then with the thoughts that are arising, try not to follow them into some kind of story, into the future. Just allow the thoughts to arise and abide without engaging, without judging, without opinions. And then just bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, strangers, ones we don't like. And just remember they're all equal. Just like you and me, they want to be happy, they don't want to suffer, and they all have an extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we can't even think about developing bodhicitta, compassion, until we have this one down. This is equanimity. But I don't think all of these practices that we do, all these realizations we're aiming for, come in a linear fashion. I think there's a little bit here, and you fall back, and then some realization happens here, some insight there, and then, I just think it's not linear. So you just have to relax around your practices. I can't get this one. And then one day you'll have an insight about it. We just have to be patient with ourselves. So I think we'll do this practice tonight, for, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who's said to be an emanation of the Buddha of compassion, or some would even say he is Chenrezig, for His Holiness to have a long life, longer, even longer, and to continue to be able to teach. So we start with this idea that there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. And we create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then we can, in general, regret all of them. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think, I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then we think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? And I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. So then we come to this power of reliance. So here we turn to Buddha Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor and who has these methods that we can use to purify ourselves. So we're not needing Buddha to forgive us. We're not looking for a higher power. We are purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and they're shaped like lotus petals, sort of this way. And his eyes are full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart. The left is underneath the right. The left holds uh, a bell representing wisdom, and the right holds a vajra, and this represents the indestructibility of compassion. And when they're held with the arms crossed, with the left arm closest to the heart, this represents enlightenment, development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So developing compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. Then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result in suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this remedy, and this is really the medicine, doing the practice of purification. We start with the body, and we imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Vajita Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa, Sitokaya Mebowa, Sipokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Mebowa, Sitokaya Mebowa, Sipokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Mebowa, Sitokaya Mebowa, Sipokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Mebowa, Sitokaya Mebowa, Sipokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Mebowa, Sitokaya Mebowa, Sipokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Mebowa, Sitokaya Mebowa, Sipokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. The next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body. Except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So we can just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, and all our inappropriate speech, all our not knowing what to say at the right time kind of, speech. Or it's not speech, it's lack of speech, lack of wise speech. And imagine all this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Petita Adrida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mebeyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hom Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Petita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mempiyata sawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe, ambhadrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita, jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe ambhadrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe ambhadrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Ambhadrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Ambhadrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. And again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's like when you enter a dark room and you flick on a switch and the light comes instantly. So imagine the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and anger and depression, bitterness, grudges, jealousy, resentment. All of this is instantly dispelled. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta me boa sawa sidi me pe yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboal Sitokaya Meboal Sipokaya Meboal Anurakta Meboal Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboal Sitokaya Meboal Sipokaya Meboal Anurakta Meboal Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboal Sitokaya Meboal Sipokaya Meboal Anurakta Meboal Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboal Sitokaya Meboal Sipokaya Meboal Anurakta Meboal Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboal Sitokaya Meboal Sipokaya Meboal Anurakta Meboal Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. So imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. So the nectar pushes down all the negativity of the body, and then the nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech, and then the light comes and blasts all of the delusions. And this happening all at the same time, and then also we're reciting the mantra. And so in this way, this eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboal Sitokaya Meboal Sipokaya Meboal Anurakta Meboal Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboal Sitokaya Meboal Sipokaya Meboal Anurakta Meboal Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboal Sitokaya Meboal Sipokaya Meboal Anurakta Meboal Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboal Sitokaya Meboal Sipokaya Meboal Anurakta Meboal Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboal Sitokaya Meboal Sipokaya Meboal Anurakta Meboal Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sabasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sabasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to this power of resolve, and this is the fourth and the final step in the purification process, and it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So this determination, this aspiration to refrain from harming is like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So we want to decide that this is really what I like, to refrain from harming. And so that might require a little bit of accountability. We might have to look a little bit inwards and see, okay, so what am I doing that might be harmful to myself or to others? Sometimes we do things we can't see, we don't notice. And there we rely on our good friends to give us some, honest feedback gently so we don't reject it. So then think about something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. Just work on it for a little bit. Don't have to it's not a big deal. You just think of something, maybe consider it a couple of times during the day. It all starts to seep in slowly. So imagine now Vajrasattva's delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And you think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And so next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while, You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me might not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. Let's do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Displaying a gentle smile to living beings, a smile that fills the threefold world with light, that tames the enemy, the four maras, that ends unwanted birth in all three forms. His voice melodious, like that of Brahma, completely filling all the triple world, replied as follows to the Lord of Secrets, to Vajrapani, strongest of the strong, that you, abounding in supreme compassion and aiming to assist all living beings, are willing and prepared to hear from me this evil-quelling, purifying chanting. All right, everyone. Let's have a strong wish for His Holiness to live long. I wish His Holiness a happy birthday. And then think of all of your own teachers. Think of Lama Zopa Rinpoche and just make strong prayers that Rinpoche will come back soon. It's going to happen. We just don't know when. All right. And again, for your own teachers and for yourselves. All right. Lots of love, everybody. Good night. Thank you, Shayla, for hosting. I'll see some of you tomorrow morning. Okay, bye-bye.